Welcome to iLecture Online, and now for probably the most difficult type of factoring we can get with a trinomial, something that is in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c, which means that the numerical coefficient in front of the x squared is not a 1. So how do we deal with that? How can we factor that? Well, there's various techniques, but this technique here seems to work pretty well. What we're going to do is we're going to rewrite the trinomial into a polynomial with 4 terms. And to do that, we're going to need to find a product and a sum. So P for product, S for sum. Now the product is going to be the product of the numerical coefficient of the first term times the last term. So it's going to be 6 times a minus 5, which is equal to minus 30. The sum must equal the number 7, the numerical coefficient of the middle term. And so we're looking for two numbers in such a way that when I multiply them together, I get a minus 30. When I add them together, I get a plus 7. So we're looking for two numbers. When I multiply, I end up with a negative number, which means one of the numbers will need to be positive and one of the numbers will need to be negative. And when we add them together, the sum of the two add up to 7. That means the positive number will be the bigger one of the two. For example, I can take the number positive plus 8 and minus 1. If I add these two together, I get a plus 7. But when I multiply them together, I get a minus 8, which means that's not the right pair. How about the number 9 and negative 2? When I add them together, I get 7. When I multiply them together, I get a minus 18. Still, that's not the right combination because I didn't get minus 30. And that's how we go about doing that. So we take a number that's 1 bigger than 7 and then add a negative 1. We take a number that's 2 bigger than 7 and take a negative 2. How about 3 bigger than 7 and multiply that times the negative 3. When I multiply those two together, I get a minus 30, which is what I wanted. So the product of the two numbers is minus 30. The sum of the two numbers is plus 7, so I found the right combination. What do I do with those two numbers? Well, now I end up with what we call two middle terms. I'm going to rewrite this as 6x squared and minus 5, and the middle term is now going to be written as the sum of two middle terms. It doesn't matter which order we write it in, but this can be written as plus 10x minus 3x, or we could have written as plus 3x minus 10x. It really doesn't matter which way we do it. So again, I'll do it over here. We could have written it as 6x squared plus 3x minus, I'll take that back. I could have written it as follows. I could have written it as 6x squared and a minus 5. And so I could have taken it as a minus 3 here and a plus 10 there. So I could have written it as minus 3x and a plus 10x, and I would have gotten the exact same answer, and you'll see how that works. So first, let's take it like this. So now I'm going to group them into groups of 2. Here, I look and see what can I factor out, and it looks like I can factor out a 2 and an x. So 2x, which leaves me with a 3x plus 5. Here, I can factor out a negative 1, and that will leave me to 3x plus 5. Now notice I have two terms, and those two terms contain the same factor, 3x plus 5, which I can factor out. So this becomes 3x plus 5, and then I have remaining a 2x minus 1. And this is then the factored form of my original trinomial. The same over here. Notice that instead of writing plus 10x minus 3x, I could have written minus 3x plus 10x. Again, I use the same two numbers here. I group again the first two and the last two numbers together. Now I can see that I can factor out a 3x. If I do 3x, I end up with a 2x minus 1. And if I factor out over here a 5, so plus 5, that leaves me with a 2x minus 1. Notice that the two terms both contain the quantity 2x minus 1, which can then be factored out. So you can say, well, this is equal to the quantity 2x minus 1 multiplied by what's left, and that leaves me with a 3x plus 5. And notice I end up with the exact same factored result. Therefore, it doesn't matter how we finish the problem, in which order we put the two middle terms. But let's review what we just did. we need to come up with two numbers whose product are minus 30 and the sum is 7. Where do those numbers come from? I multiply the 6 and the negative 5, which gives me negative 30. So the two numbers I'm looking for must multiply to be negative 30. I then look at the middle term and I know that the sum of the two numbers must equal 7, so this number will always be equal to that. I realize that to have a product that's negative, I must have a positive and a negative number. So one of the two numbers must be positive and one of the two numbers must be negative. So when I add them together, I get a positive 7. That means the positive number must be bigger than the negative number. And so I can see that if I add 1 to 7 and then subtract 1, 8 minus 1 gives me 7, and 8 times negative 1 gives me a minus 8. That's not negative 30, so it's not 8 and negative 1. I add 2 to 7, I get 9, and a negative 2. I add them together, I get 7, but when I multiply, I get negative 18. Again, that's not the combination. Finally, when I add 3 to the number 7, so 10, and I multiply times negative 3, I get negative 30. And when I add them together, I get positive 7. So here's the two numbers, 10 and negative 3, that when I add them, I get 7. When I multiply, I get negative 30. Then I write my trinomial as a polynomial with 4 terms. The first term, the last term, but the middle term is now written as the sum of two middle terms, and the coefficients in front of x will be the two numbers 10 and negative 3. And again, it doesn't matter what order we place them in, but then we group them in groups of 2, we factor out what we can, and then the factors form there will be the factors form of the original problem. And notice that it doesn't matter which order I put the two middle terms in, I will always end up with the same result, barring making any mistakes. And that is how it's done.